Hello. Welcome to this edition of the Cancer Coach Talks. I'm your host, Leslie Nance. Tonight, we're going to be talking about who can you trust or who do you trust? I think that's a really important question to ask ourselves when we're going through a cancer journey and we're doing all this research and finding out all this information to figure out who in the world can we trust through this process. Because let's face it, there is a lot of information out there, and there are a lot of convenient truths based on someone's method or someone's idea. But what really is the best path for you and for healing? We're going to dial that in tonight. We're going to get some answers. And thank you guys so much for joining. I can see a whole bunch of you popping in. I'm super excited to share this information with you. Before we get to that, let me introduce myself. My name is Leslie Nance. I'm a certified holistic nutritionist, a certified holistic cancer coach. I'm also an 8-year cancer survivor. Oh my gosh, you guys, next month I celebrate, I celebrate 8 years of being cancer free. Oh, I'm so excited. My mom is celebrating 12 years as a stroke survivor this month in October. And in December, I will celebrate 8 years cancer free. Super excited about that. So what is a cancer coach? What does that mean? That means that I help people achieve wholeness and making their bodies an inhospitable environment to cancer and disease. Actually thinking more about your life, making your life inhospitable to cancer and to disease. That is my specialty. And I do that actually with a brand new 8-week program that is launching in November. And I'm super excited about. If you have interest in knowing more about that, then you should book a call with me to find out more information about that 8-week program. If you are a previous client, you're a current client with me, don't worry. All that information is coming to you. As soon as it launches, you will be the first to see the new program. So, yes, so super excited about that. But really digging in deep to find out what unblocks and what creates healing in our lives and in our bodies. So, but that's what I do for a living. But when you're out there and you're looking and you're searching, trying to find someone to help you through this process, how do you weed through all of that information and decide what is best for you? So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. Let me say hello to a couple of people and then we're going to get rolling. By the way, if you are new here, I do not know that you're here unless you type in the chat. So please take a moment to say hello. That would be awesome. I would love that. While you're doing that, I'm going to say hi to a couple of people. Hello, Jennifer. Long time no talk. Jennifer and I literally got off the phone like an hour ago. Oh no, a couple of hours ago. Sorry, that was Irene I was just on the phone with. But Jennifer and I talked earlier. We've been texting all day. Anne Marie, hi, it's good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. I love you bunches. Hi, Dana. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you. Love and blessings. I will take all those blessings in. I will love them and take them all in. Thank you for that. Hello, Juan. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for being here this evening. All right, let's dig in. So I'm going to give you my top 5 and maybe 6 if it feels good. We'll see what happens of how to develop a team, a trustworthy team through this scenario of healing. Okay. So let me put my microphone over here because I forgot again. Oh my goodness. That's going to sound so much better right now. I'm not going to sound like I'm in a cave like I just did. So run around with my head cut off. I swear I have my stuff together. I swear. All right. So what is the number one thing that you want to look for when you are establishing trust with a practitioner, or you're establishing trust with a system, or you found somebody that you really resonate with? You know, what is the thing that connects you to that process and gives you the information to give you confidence in healing? So the number one thing that I have identified for myself personally is that person, that expert, are they willing to get on the phone with me? Are they willing to talk to me? Are they willing to, to coach me through getting these results? Or am I just reading a book and hoping for the best? Right. And that goes hand in hand with number two. And number two being, does that person ever ask you about your specific diagnosis, your specific treatments, your specific underlying health conditions, your specific struggles, your specific diet that you're already on, on and on and on? Is that person asking those questions? Are they taking in that much detail, or are you just reading in a book or just looking on a website, or just getting free information or watching webinars or something like that? And you may be going, well, look at lady, you're giving out free information today. That's very different. You will never get a bandaid from me. I do not pass out band-aids. And so when you come here to listen to me, it's for inspiration. It's for mindset shifts. It's for thinking differently about cancer and disease. It's never, you notice that I'm never handing out like advice about how to heal. I'm telling you the methods that people are using to heal. I'm aligning you to that process, but you notice that I never give out any specific information. And the reason is because I think it's ridiculous to hand out band-aids for cancer. And I use that term a lot, but it's crazy for somebody to host a webinar or to host a whatever, and it's completely free, and you show up and they tell you, take XYZ supplements, make sure that you're eating this way or this way or this way, whether it's keto, whether it's vegetarian, whether it's vegan, and they've never bothered to ask you, what kind of cancer do you have? How long have you had it? What kind of cancer treatments are you on? What's your underlying health conditions? What are your food habits right now? I would find that a little hard to trust. And the problem is that a lot of these systems, not even people, but a lot of these systems are very convincing. They have a very convincing story to tell you. And if you notice, I'm one of those people that I'm just not a huge fan of trying to convince you to make a change. It needs to be inside of you. You need to have a connection to that process. You need to have an understanding that that is what's most important to you. This is why I became a coach, because I was so confused about all the crazy information out there and what it meant for me and my diagnosis. The number three thing, so number one is, do you get to talk to the expert in person? And then when you're talking to that expert, if you do get to ever, and I mean like on the phone, I don't mean like like we're doing tonight where there's a chat role, right? If you've talked to me here, we've not talked in person. We can change that, actually. If you want to talk to me, I do that, actually, speak to my clients in person. But and help them. But we do that in a one-on-one phone call. And then the second part of that is if you do get to speak to them and they're not asking you details about, your situation, then that should be a massive red flag. I would be tempted not to trust that process. Why is it? If somebody's genuinely interested in helping, you wouldn't be diagnosed with cancer and say, well, I'm going to go online and I'm just going to read what oncologists have to say about cancer. Would you? I'm just going to read what doctors have to say. And then I'm going to go on Amazon and get the chemo. I mean, you can't do that, but but it's like that. It's like never having anybody go into detail with what your specific story is, right? I had a woman, one of the biggest challenges that I've ever faced in my entire life in cancer coaching was such an odd challenge. But had I not spoken to her in person and worked with her in person, I would have never understood the challenge that she faced. And the challenge that she faced was that she lived in the middle of the country in a very rural area. And the only grocery store she had near her was a Piggly Wiggly, and they had no organics. It was Amazon Prime did not deliver her fresh groceries. It was a massive challenge that we had. She had to drive an hour and a half to get her cancer treatments. This was a big, big challenge that we were facing. It's an odd one, but it was so real. So if you go to a one size fits all mentality, right? And you see, and they're like, oh, and you need to eat this, and you need to make sure that you're eating, this and taking these supplements, and you don't have that availability to you, and they're not willing to brainstorm how to make that happen because they don't even talk to you in person, that can make you feel hopeless. Like, well, I'm just not going to be able to heal. I've had people come to me like this before. I'm not going to be able to heal because I can't eat beans. I just had a client recently say that to me. I can't eat beans, and everybody's always recommending that you eat beans. I don't do good on a vegetarian diet, and everybody's saying that I should eat plant-based. My body doesn't do well with that. So if that person's not willing to figure that out with you, then personally, I would have trust issues with that. Number 3, they offer no personalized support. And this is kind of what I'm talking about, in a nutshell, is that they don't offer any personalized support. They don't sit down and work with you. Hi, Lydia. They don't work with you to try to negotiate some of these troubles, some of these pains. Right now, I'm a one-on-one cancer coach, so I work with my clients one-on-one. We're about to go into a scenario where it's a group session, and if you're like, oh, I don't like group sessions, this is not like any group session you've ever been in before. These are very, very different. They're very celebratory. They're very open. They're very honest. I am there to regulate them. I'm the one that runs the group sessions, and so there's not a bunch of, whiny pants in there. No offense to whiny pantses. But, I still offer very much personalized support. There still be long Q&As where make sure you are getting your questions answered and your concerns addressed so that we can work through and find solutions to these problems. It's so important that you have those tools in your toolbox because not everyone is the same. Number 4 is you find it hard to believe. If you're reading something and it seems too good to be true, it probably is. If you're like, really? Wow, that seems really out there. That's crazy. I don't know if I could ever do that. I want you to, Babette. Hi, Babette. Hi, Marilyn. It's good to see you. Sorry, you got me with that one. But if you're finding it hard to believe, if you're finding it are you serious right now? I'm serious. Siri just came on because I said serious. That's very funny. If you're thinking that way, or you're saying it's too good to be true, or you're like, really? Does that really work? You should probably trust your gut. I have had some of the most cuckoo things come up, things that I'm like, you did what? Or they told you needed to, that's typically what it is. They told you needed to do what? No. And I'm not trying to tear people down. I'm trying to help you recognize where those pitfalls are. If I was trying to tear people down, I would mention names, which I'm not going to do. But I have had people been told the most craziest things and to stick things the most craziest places and put the most craziest things in their body. And I'm like, for what purpose? And they didn't even understand it. There was just a belief system that surrounded like, this is the thing, because the person was really convincing, right? I can tell you that I don't tell anybody to put anything in weird places. There is no weird contraptions. There's nothing strange about what I do. Just putting it out there. You can ask any of my clients. Number 5 is it's not practical or sustainable. This is a huge one, right? This is a huge like red flag. If you're going through a process and it's not fitting into your lifestyle and you're not figuring out or even being taught how to fit it into your lifestyle, then that is a massive red flag. If it's not practical or sustainable, if you can't continue to eat like that or, think like that for the rest of your life, then maybe it's not the thing for you. Maybe it's something that is not made for your situation. I'm going to use Babette as an example. Babette's been in my program, actually, Anne Marie as well. Both of these women are amazing examples have been out of my program for a long time, both of them, months, Anne Marie almost a year, which is crazy to think about. Yeah, a little like coffee enemas. That's kind of, like 3 times a day. I can see coffee enemas actually have their place, but not 3 times a day for just general use, like some people use them. Oh my gosh, talk about messing up your digestive system. Anywho, back to the subject, but Anne Marie, Babette are great examples. Both of them have been out of the program for a long time. Babette's the freshest for me because she and I just had a follow-up call. And I asked her before our call to keep a food record for me. And she kept a food record for me. And I'm like, you are a rock star. So, she's still like, it was sustainable. The lifestyle is sustainable for her. She's made a decision. She's made a choice to live differently and she's stuck with it. And it's just amazing to see that. Anne Marie, I know because Anne Marie is my favorite food photographer. And so I know she's sticking with it. Plus we keep in contact a lot. And so I know she's sticking with the processes of eating well. It's sustainable. It's practical. It's something that they can achieve that makes sense to them in a lifestyle. If you don't get that warm fuzzy, then with that, and you're thinking, oh my God, that's going to be so hard. How am I ever going to do that? They want you to drink, 20 gallons of juice a day and you got to juice it all. And then you got to buy all the vegetables. And if you can grow them yourself, that's even better. It's like, what? That's not practical. You don't have to go to the ends of the earth to heal. You have everything you need inside of you right now to heal. It just needs to be activated. You just need to find that pathway to accessing it. And and I'm not saying that it's my way or the highway, there are a lot of places to find information. This is about what resonates with you and what are the red flags. What have I seen my clients come to me with that they've tried? I'll go ahead and go into number 6. I said if it feels good, I'll do number 6. So number 6 is, I had like freeze frame. Sorry. Computer totally stuttered. And if you didn't see it, you think I'm a Looney Tune, but it totally stuttered. So anywho, but I had a client who came to me and she was in a particular person's coaching program for cancer and trying to fix a very specific thing. And she's like, the information was great, but it wasn't practical. And every time I turned around, I had to buy something else. She wanted me to invest in like this machine or this pad or this, this supplement. And, and she said, and if I bought it all, it was going to be like 25 grand. Oh my gosh, on top of the fee that she had paid for the coaching. And so that's going to be my last thing. My last thought there is that if a program is free or low cost and there's all this stuff to buy and you're thinking, oh, this person is so nice because they're giving it away free. but you have all of these things to buy and then they're not practical and they're not suitable and they're not sustainable for your lifestyle, or you didn't get proper instructions how to use them. That was one of her biggest complaints, is that she bought like this really expensive machine and then really only had like a 20-minute like how to with it, and she was like, and I still really don't understand how to use it. So anyway, yeah. So these are just red flags to look for as you're looking for something to help you heal. I'm not even going to make an offer here tonight for this, like to come and talk to me or whatever. Unless you've already spoken to me and you're like, hey, I want to know about that 8-week thing, then I'm your girl. So make sure we connect on that. Either in Messenger or you can book another call with me, however. But this is about recognizing what you need to make you feel comfortable in healing. Who do you trust? I Googled anti-cancer diet and I got something like 23 million or 24 million pages, websites or pages that had anti-cancer diet on it. And I clicked through a whole bunch of them. There were a lot of people out there that were using that anti-cancer language to have you click on them. And in my opinion, it's just so freaking responsible, because you're looking for information to help you heal. You want something that is going to be meaningful in your life, that is going to point you in a direction of healing. And then you land on a web page that's like, eat more broccoli. Yeah, no shit. Really? That's not what you're looking for. And so as a practitioner, as you probably tell, it's a little frustrating for me. But as somebody who has had cancer, who was an 8-year survivor, it was incredibly frustrating. I was so frustrated trying to figure out like what to do next. And if I'd not had this amazing team around me that was teaching me and loving me through that process, I would have drove myself insane. Well, I did. And I drove my husband insane. I'm pointing to, because he's in there doing dishes right now. Everybody, a round of applause for my husband doing dishes. A lot of them, because our dishwasher is broke. Had I not, I drove him crazy enough thinking that I was going to die and that everything I ate was going to kill me. Oh my gosh. It was like this vicious cycle. So many of you say to me, you're right in my head. Like, how do you know like what I'm thinking? What's going on? Because I've been there, done that. I totally get it. Even though it was 8 years ago, it's still very fresh in my heart and my mind. Thank you, Babette. Man doing dishes, nothing sexier. So when you're looking for solutions, when you're looking for navigate, ask yourself these, thank you, Lydia. Ask yourself these questions. Do I get to speak to the expert in person? Are they going to love me through this process? When are they going to be there? When do they disappear? How do I get a hold of them? You'd want to know that about your doctors, right? This person, the support person, is just as important. Thank you, Anne-Marie. 3 rounds, 3 cheers for Robin. If they don't ever ask you details about your diagnosis and how you're sick, details about your diagnosis, how you're being treated, what your underlying health conditions are, what your lifestyle is like. If they're not asking you those questions, I would think twice. If they're not offering any personalized support, which kind of wraps all that up in a bow. If you find it hard to believe, if you're like, really? Trust your sixth sense. If it's not practical or sustainable in your lifestyle, think about that. I think one of the biggest problems that I see, I'm like dissecting the industry today, it feels like, but that's okay. Kind of putting everything on the mat there. I think one of the most difficult things that I see is when people come to me and they're very broken and they feel they have given up on the idea that they can't heal, or that they've given up on the idea that they can heal, that it's possible. And I know one of two things have happened. One, they have their oncologist or their doctors are not being very optimistic about their situation. That's one thing. The other thing is that they've been trying a bunch of natural things. And most of the time it's totally do it yourself, been reading a lot of books, watching a lot of podcasts, listening to a lot of people, buying a lot of supplements, and so they kind of put all this stuff, kind of organized it all together. And then they've been doing it for months, and then they get a scan and nothing's better, or it's worse even. So they come to me and they're broken. And when I mean broken, I mean they're broken. They feel like that's it. Like they're not going to be able to heal. And I know that they're like a victim of the system, right? And when I start explaining what true healing is and what the healing pathways are, and why all of these other things have missed that boat, they're like, OMG. And then better yet, I put them on the path. That's when the doors fling open. That's when the transformation happens. I just wrote a class and I was for this 8-week program, and I was talking about information remains stuck in information without action. If you add information to action, you get transformation, right? So information plus action equals transformation. I just did this class, and this is what I'm finding out is that people they're loaded up with information. They're loaded up with just piling it in information. And then they take a little bit of action, or they take a lot of action with no guidance. And then their scans are worse, and they're like, oh, this is not working. I'm not meant to heal. I have people say that to me. I'm not meant to heal. What? No. I do not subscribe to those belief systems at all. Yeah. Where are you putting your trust? Where are you putting your belief systems? And believe me when I say that it not only blocks your healing, but it blocks your emotional state for that healing. Because then you start a belief system that you can't heal, or that it's impossible for you to heal. And then you lose faith in that process, or that there's anything out there for you. That takes a toll on you emotionally, and then truly begins to shut down, right? It truly begins to suppress. So if you're wondering why you're stuck, if you're wondering why it feels like that this healing is not for you, then you need to look at the processes that you're utilizing that help establish your emotional state that are keeping you in that stuck place. Make sense? Make sense, everybody? Okay. That is all I have for you this evening. I hope that resonates with you. Again, I will mention launching the middle of November, we are introducing a brand new 8-week program. It's super exciting. There'll be more information coming out about it, and ways that you can connect to see if it's a good fit for you. There is no marketing material for it. I actually conduct interviews with potential candidates to make sure that it's a good space for you, and that it's that there's a belief system there that that you are eager to learn and to change and to grow and to find the healing that you're looking for. But I will be talking more and more about it, and I'm really, really excited about it, you guys. There are over 50 videos. It actually has a lot of diet, nutrition in it, education about nutrition, actually, not just a diet, but a lot of education about how to create an inhospitable environment to cancer and disease. There's a whole week dedicated to movement. I've actually, I have an expert. You guys have heard me talk about my Zumba instructor before. She is actually going to be teaching 3 classes that are fitness classes in this program, and they're of course yours to keep, and they're specific to cancer. And I am so excited. There's one for fatigue. There's one for lymphedema. There is one for just general movement, like getting your energy up and getting a workout on, about 20 minutes long. And so she is a certified cancer fitness instructor. Oh my gosh, it's so exciting. What else is in there? There's tons of mindset. There's how to slow the mind down and to meditate. Oh my goodness, the weeks are just packed with healing. Excuse me, I just ate dinner. My goodness, hopefully that wasn't as loud as it sounded in my head. Whoops. But it's just packed with amazing information. So I am super, super excited. And again, for all my previous clients, you will be grandfathered in to that, and you'll have all of that information. A lot of it you've been getting one-on-one from me, but there are some new pieces of information in there for you. So yeah.